Ironically, the WWE is going to the UK to live, and NXT UK is going to the US to die. I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling vlogger who always tells it like it is. Unlike Saudi Arabia, I guess Cardiff and Wales didn't have the money to justify a WrestleMania like PLE. Hence why there are only 6 matches, though they are good matches on paper. Good thing it's called Clash at the Castle, as the superstars are going to get medieval on each other's asses. Meanwhile, the remnants of the NXT UK have one last huzzah in Orlando, as all the titles get merged with their NXT US counterparts, and they won't come back until sometime in 2023 when NXT Europa or whatever shows up. Plus, some main roster folks try to do what Dolph Ziggler did earlier this year and show the minor leagues how it's done. So, let's get to the picks. First, for Saturday, my picks for Clash at the Castle. Start with Edge and Rey Mysterio versus the Judgment Day. Remember what happened last time the Judgment Day competed on a PLE? One of the other team betrayed their team to allow the JD to win. Now, I'm not saying Rey Mysterio is going to do that. He's been a face for far, far too long to turn. But his son? There's a possibility. In fact, I was thinking he would do that for some time now. But the way he treated Shayna Baszler in the ring, or Rhea Ripley in the ring last week, this might just be the time. He seems to be becoming a shadow of Eddie Guerrero, even with his hair. And we all know what Eddie's creed was, right? Whether the turn happens during or after the match is a quandary, but the winners of the match will be the Judgment Day. Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss versus Bayley and Kai Sky. I'm a little disappointed. I had Dakota and Io pegged for the new women's tag champs, but that danged Rodriguez and Aaliyah got in the way of the main roster's version of Toxic Attraction. I'll be even more disappointed if this match doesn't last more than 10 minutes, because let's face it, they're very even teams. Team A had been in obscurity before teaming up, even though they had very little chance during the tournament. But they and Belair seem to be tight. Kai and Sky is still a relatively new team, but they and Bayley also appear solid. Seriously, it's a coin flip. So, winners are Belair, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss. Riddle versus Seth frickin' Rollins, and I didn't think anything could harsh Riddle's mellow, turning him from Spicoli to Sean Penn like this. I mean, attacking Rollins in the parking lot before a joint interview? All I'm hoping is that Riddle calms down and actually wrestles in this match, because that's the only way he'll beat Rollins. Going in arms flailing is exactly what Rollins wants out of Riddle. Sure, Riddle's an ex-MMAer, but there's more than brute strength to winning MMA and WWE. Now, Rollins might be a bit perturbed at the sudden attacks too, but they didn't call him the architect for shiggles, you know. He can stay calm when he needs to be, and that makes all the difference. That pretty mug of Riddle's will be curb stomped like a Black Friday shopper reaching for the last PS5. Winner is Seth frickin' Rollins. Intercontinental Championship. Gunther defends against Sheamus. Oh man, this is gonna be a great match. Just like the IC match at WrestleMania 3, people will pay to see Reigns and McIntyre, but this will be the match of the night. Both men are bruisers, to say the least. You don't get to be longest running United Kingdom champ without being brutal. Well, that and a pandemic that halted operations, and you don't get to be an Irish lad kicker, or killer, for so long, without bunching your fists and swinging for the fences. Gunther may have Ludwig Kaiser, and Sheamus may have the Brawling Brutes, but they can kill each other outside the ring for all their leaders care. This will be a long slobber knocker of a fight that will go one way, because one of them is a brawler that also strategizes, and that ain't Sheamus. Winner and still champ, Gunther. SmackDown Women's title. Liv Morgan versus Shayna Baszler. No matter who wins here, you can bet Ronda Rousey is going to bum rush the champ as soon as they get back on American soil. You gotta admit, Morgan has luck on her side at had luck on her side on SummerSlam. She was damn lucky the referee was too busy counting Rousey's shoulders down to notice Liv tapping out. Hence why all the issues with Rousey and Adam Pearce, who I hope sues Rousey for damages. Can Liv be lucky again against a similarly vicious woman? Well, the old poker saying goes that going all in works every time except the last time. And against the Queen of Spades? I don't see this as the last time. Hang on to the title and run like hell, Morgan. Live to fight another day. Winner is still champ Liv Morgan. Finally, the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Roman Reigns defends against Drew McIntyre. Yeah, I've been saying this is it a lot lately as Roman's, reign enters its third year. I've been hoping somebody would A, take the belts away from Reigns so he can semi-retire, and B, split the primary belts up again, because it doesn't look like they will truly unify the titles anytime soon. But this is it, ain't it? Yeah, I'd lean heavy on McIntyre with quasi-home field advantage, and Lord knows I'd love to see Drew as a primary champ again, but the bloodline is not ready to bleed out just yet. I know Reigns just made a deal to compete even less on TV and PLEs for the foreseeable future, but if they let Gunther do it, I guess they can let Reigns do it. Besides, someone is coming back. One of the people Reigns screwed out of the title 2 years ago. Perhaps he'll be the one to cause the fall of the Roman Empire. For now, winner and still Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. Alright, on to Sunday. Here are my picks for NXT Worlds Collide. NXT Women's Tag Titles. Kaden Carter and Katana Chance against Nikki, ASH, and Doudrop. Now, the only reason this match was made is because Nikki and Piper were both former NXT UK superstars, and they wanted to be part of the brand's last PLE. But the two have been just like the Hurricane and Rosie 2 decades ago. Interesting mix of superhero and big one, but not cohesive enough. Meanwhile, Team KC has been in the sunshine since winning the belts. They're sort of like the female equivalent of Briggs and Jensen, except the ladies actually win on NXT. Thanks for dropping by, Nikki and Doudrop. Now head back to the main roster where we can continue to be blasted. Winners and still champions, Team KC. Fatal 4-Way unifying NXT and NXT UK tag titles. Brooks and Jensen versus Pretty Deadly versus Gallus versus the Creed Brothers. As I said before, JB and BJ have been perpetual losers on NXT. They deserve to be booted down to level up. So they'll lose the UK belts that I still can't believe they even got. And the Diamond Mine have been in chaos as Roderick Strong tries to rule over the rest and get the rest in trouble. The Creeds will lose those US titles because of this, which leaves the veterans of Gallus and the relative newcomers of Pretty Deadly. I thought it was a mistake to give Prince and Wilson the titles as soon as they entered NXT US. They really don't deserve it right now. But the Scotsmen, the Kofis, and Wolfgang, they deserve to be champs once more and hold them for a good while before going to the main roster. Winners and new champs, Gallus. North American title, Carmelo Hayes versus Ricochet. I thought that after failing as a team with Ciampa and Ciampa returning to NXT, Ricochet's last thought was to go back to NXT. He's still a potential after all, but no, this is a continuation of main roster superstars slipping down to the minors for a while to try to give the others the bump they need to break out of the CWC. But Hayes is certain that his is the A title in NXT, and he and Trick Williams will do any and all to defend it. Thanks for stopping by, Ricochet. Now head back to the main roster where you can make something of your career. Winner and still champ, Carmelo Hayes. Triple threat to unify NXT and NXT UK's women's titles. Mandy Rose versus Meiko Satomura versus Blair Davenport. Now, I had no issue with Rose and Satomura. I called the making of the match 2 weeks ago, but why Blair Davenport and her Lady Gaga meets Cruella de Vil hair is involved, I will never know. All I know is that Rose has held on to the NXT US Women's belt long after her Toxic Attraction ladies lost theirs. It's time to fully detoxify NXT. But which NXT UK woman will unify the belts? Well, since the last time 3 women fought over 2 belts, with the one without the belt going in, winning both of them, well, the so-called final boss will have herself a final loss. Winner, new champ Blair Davenport. Finally, unification of the NXT and NXT United Kingdom Championships. Braun Breaker versus Taylor Bate. Very appropriate that the first UK champ will be the last UK champ, and the reputation of all past NXT UK superstars and future NXT Europe superstars is riding on his small shoulders. Unlike Breaker's shoulders, which are huge enough to hold the entire brand up, apparently. Look, I'm not saying it's David versus Goliath here, but hell, it totally is. But the reverse story. Now, Bate does have speed and strategy on his side, but it just doesn't look like this son of a Steiner is ready to give up the ghost yet. Maybe at Halloween Havoc or any time before the Royal Rumble, where he can debut on the main roster. Sorry, Bate, but enjoy your time in NXT before heading back to Europe next year. Winner and unified champ, Braun Breaker. Those are my picks, and I cannot wait for Monday night to get these spoilers. I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling blog, who always tells it like it is. Stay safe, pray for peace, and I'll see you